Hey, welcome back to my channel everyone. For those of you new here, I do challenge runs, mostly Dark Souls, and try to make them entertaining to watch. So without further ado, let's get into the rules of the fist weapons only run in Dark Souls Remastered. 1. All damage must come from fists or fist weapons. That's pretty self-explanatory. 2. No shields, which means I can't block with a shield. If I want to use a shield for its status effect, like the Grass Crest shield, I'm allowed to do that. 3. No glitches, which is also pretty self-explanatory. 4. I may play the game in any order that I please. 5. I must beat all bosses, which does not include the DLC. With the rules laid out, let's get this run officially started. So, I start by naming my character Fist Me, because this run feels like a fist was up my ass the whole time. Oh, and we're using fists only, so yeah. I decide on the Hunter class because his dexterity and strength is high, and fist weapons scale off of strength and dex, so we're going to be leveling it a lot this run. I choose the Master Key as my starting gift, and go for the Far East Traveler because the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie came out recently, and I loved it. And Ryan Reynolds is hot. Anyways, we wake up in the asylum as always, and I try to get rid of our weapon, but you can't actually do it yet for some reason. Then I make my way to my first challenge, the Asylum Demon. Since we don't actually have access to fist weapons yet, we have to resort to actual fists, which at first do a decent size of damage, then on the boss do 2 damage. And this boss has how much health? Okay, got it. So this boss took a long time. The strategy I found pretty early on was to stick to his backside and use his big jiggly booty to shield myself from his attacks. Sometimes I would get pinched between the wall and his huge ass, which I kinda enjoyed, but would run in front of him to get him to move forward some. Or when he flew up, I would position myself so his backside went into the larger part of the room. After 15 minutes of my face in his ass, or the best 15 minutes of my life, I defeated him on my technically second try. First try I wasn't recording and had to replay all of it up until this point. Then I ran through the asylum, throwing out my weapons and collecting my Estus along the way. Then continued on to the world of Lordran. When in Firelink, I leveled my strength for the fist scaling and went around Firelink trying to grab all the items I could find. I tried to go under the bridge, but then just walked off like a dummy. After that, I tried again and got gangbanged by some hollows. Next attempt, I slipped on nothing and got so embarrassed that I decided to just end myself. At the next bonfire, I had to do some persuasion in order to sit down. Then realized that I went the wrong way, so I made my way to the Valley of Pedos, I mean Drakes, grabbing souls along the way and obtaining the red Tearstone ring and Grass Crest shield for tight situations. Afterward, I punched this crystal lizard to death because I felt like it, then made my way to Andre for my first weapon in this run, the Cestus. The Cestus scale C on both strength and dex, and have a base physical damage of 66. I leveled them both to +2 for 79 damage, then tested it on the Titanite demon. It was a bad choice to do that, so I tested it on the grass dudes in the Darkroot Garden, and the damage is pretty good. Next, I decided to go after my favorite ring in this game, Havel's ring. Only problem is, I suck at getting Havel to kill himself. So I decided to parry him to death, which was much easier. I mean, how? This is DS1 parrying, not DS3. With Havel's ring in hand, I was overconfident and went straight for Taurus Demon. Now, I suck at this fight for some reason. This fight just gets harder for me in each playthrough. So, I used the tower for multiple critical hits, which resulted in Taurus Demon going down first try. And no, I don't feel bad about it. I met up with Solaire, baited the Drake, then kicked down the ladder for easy access. Made my way back through Darkroot Garden to save Lothric, then leveled my Cestus to +4. I played a tower defense game with the hollows in this hallway, then entered the fog to challenge the gargoyles. Now, this fight scared me. I couldn't one-shot a hollow, and this fight is a duo boss, so I was understandably scared for what was to come. Now, the first phase, or the first gargoyle by himself, was not difficult. Our damage wasn't as bad as I thought, and the attacks are pretty easy to dodge. And soon enough, I got the second guy onto the arena. This is when the fight got tough. With 2 guys on the arena and low damage, this fight was a whole lot tougher. But with staying patient and minding both gargoyles, I managed to defeat them first try. They put up a good fight, and it was thrilling to me. Unlike this ladder climb, god damn this is a long ladder. But with that, the first bell had been rung. With the boss souls, I leveled my strength and dex some more, and I maxed my Cestus to +5. Next, I decided to go back to the asylum for the rusted iron ring, and the peculiar doll. Then I went back to Firelink and killed Lotric. Next up was Blighttown and Quelaag. I ran down to the, in my opinion, the not so shitty swamp level, and went straight for Quelaag after getting the bonfire in the area. Now, not to brag or anything, but I'm really good at the Quelaag fight. Okay, so my damage isn't the best, and Quelaag has a huge health pool. But this fight is just stick close to dodge the melee, and run away for the explosion. After a repetitive, but surprisingly fun fight, Quelaag goes down on the second try after 7 minutes. And with that, the second bell is rung. I upgrade my vitality, and accidentally level attunement instead of endurance. Then decided that I would also fight Ceaseless because no amount of upgrades would change this fight. And I'm already here, so why not? Nothing really needs to be said here other than easy fight. With the souls from Ceaseless, I upgrade my health more, and this time my endurance as well, and equip my Gucci rags. I decided to go for the Chloranthy ring while I'm here, then make my way back to Firelink. I decide to confront Petrus. He did not take it well. Next up is the Moonlight Butterfly. Now, with this fight, I usually use a shield, but this time I can't, which actually made the fight semi-enjoyable. It was a very long fight due to the low damage of my Cestus, but after only 6 minutes, the butterfly stopped flying. After this, I started thinking of getting a new weapon, that being the claws. In order to get them though, I must get to Alvina for the Cat Covenant, then talk to Shiva of the East in the gardens, then in Blighttown to buy the claws. Or the Dark Souls version of Wolverine's claws. The special thing about the claw is that it's the only fist weapon with bleed damage, so this could come in handy on bosses with larger health pools. I tested the new weapon on the Crestfallen Warrior, then I went to the Iron Keep. Somehow this snake survived this drop here. Sadly, I couldn't though. I grabbed the Slumbering Dragon Cush ring, then ran up for my first attempt at the Iron Golem. It went just great. Second attempt went much better with me not dying in the first minute. This time I spaced my healing better and I learned to dodge the grab hitbox better. But after 6 full minutes, the Iron Golem takes his final swing. On to Anor Londo. With the boss souls, I leveled up my health, strength, and dex. The first order of business was to test my fist fighting skills on the gargoyle, then across the rafters we go, past the archers, into my boy Solaire. Next I obtained Havel's armor, which was way too heavy to equip at the time. I made my way to the giant blacksmith, then remembered that you need a +10 fist weapon to actually ascend it. Oh, silly me. So I made my way back to the beginning of the game to get the large ember, which is locked in the depths. So I upgrade my claws, upgrade my Estus, then braced for the Capra Demon's impact. Pause. And hey, this isn't so bad. At this point in the game, this boss isn't so bad, and I end up defeating him on my first try. I enter the depths, grab the ember, and watch this dog enter heaven. On my way to Andre, I stumbled upon some people who wanted to kill me. Oh, never mind. I gave the large ember to Andre, and upgraded my Cestus to +8 and my claws to +7, for reasons I will explain later. I grabbed the Covetous Gold Serpent Ring to grind this guy here, got the Cestus to +10, then returned to the Sunlight City. There, I learned that the Batwing demons can enter this building. Then, combined the core from the Iron Golem and my +10 Cestus to create the Dragonbone Fist. It has aided strength scaling and does a little more damage than my claws after a few levels. Alright, now let's see what kind of damage we dish out on the dynamic duo. 29 damage. Okay, so obviously I died here, but this means I either have to have a super long ONS fight, which will most likely always result in death, or I can go upgrade my Dragonbone Fist. Okay, let's see what it takes to level up. Oh, fuck me. Okay, after 3 hours of grinding, was it even worth it? Kinda. I got a bunch of souls which I put into strength and endurance, and now my fist has S in strength scaling and does a decent chunk of poise damage. I can see this possibly being better later on in the run, but I'm not counting on it. I also decided to max out my claws for the time being because of its bleed damage and faster attack speed. I also thought of my strategy for ONS. I'm gonna be a tank. I'm going to equip full Havels for phase 1 to poise through Ornstein's hits, then I'll unequip the armor to be able to run away from Smo's big booty slam in phase 2. First attempt trying this was unsuccessful. I wasted a lot of my Estus and was figuring out the medium roll timings. Attempt 2, I equipped the Ring of Steel Protection, which did mean heavy rolling, but this time I had more Estus, knew the timings better, and took Ornstein down after around 5 minutes. Now, Super Smo scared me here. His butt slam almost one-shots me, well, most of his attacks almost one-shot me, and combined with the bad hitboxes, it creates a super stressful phase 2. But by staying vigilant and patient, I was able to pull out the win and stop Smo from sitting on my face. Damn. With the souls from ONS, I leveled up my strength to 27, and with that, we finally obtained the Lord's Vessel. My first course of action now was to beat up the Wheel of Pins, and then to get the Skull Lantern and trade it in with Snuggly for the Fogger. While I was here, I also decided to attempt the Stray Demon, and I just gotta say, bleed weapons are insanely OP against this jiggly green gremlin. With the muscles from him, I leveled my strength up to 30. I placed the Lord's Vessel, then make my way to the Archives where I died as Seath. I unlocked my cell, grab the key, then make my way to Seath. So with this boss there is one tiny little issue. We do 69 damage per hit. First attempt it doesn't go very well, but I did find that I was able to get a flurry of hits in, around 4 to 5 hits in between each attack, which led to a decent chunk of damage. But nonetheless, I decided to get Bed of Chaos first. I gave 30 humanities to the Fair Lady, then ran to the shortcut where I killed the Sunlight Magnet. Next, I went straight for my favorite boss in the game, Bed of Chaos. So I played a little bit dirty here, and I quit out after each phase, and somehow, someway, I managed to get this boss first try. I know, crazy. That's never been done in the history of mankind. Anyways, with the boss souls, I leveled my dexterity to 27, then warped over to Tomb of the Giants for our next Lord Soul. And I started off strong by forgetting that the fists are not two-handed weapons. Second attempt went a lot better with the Fog Ring plus Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring working really well. Now sadly our damage isn't the highest, but nonetheless this fight is still super easy without the skeletons. Just a bit of dodging and running away, and after 5 minutes we pull out the win. With the souls I get my dex up to 30, and then I teleport over to Firelink and make my way down to the new Londo ruins. I grab the key to the seal and drain the area. With the valley open, I run up to Darkroot Garden for the Ring of Artorias. Oh, where's the good boy? There he is. For Sif, I just tried to stay under his belly to get some free hits, and sticking close was my whole strat here. After just a few minutes, I started tearing up pretty badly, then ended the fight with the bestest boy. But on the flip side, I managed to obtain the Dark Hand on my first try against the Dark Wraith. The Dark Hand isn't that good, but it is classified as a fist weapon and has a shield as a part of it, so technically, we have a shield that bypasses the rule set. Hell yeah! Moving forward, I grabbed the very large ember and got my claws up to an insane plus 13 with 165 physical damage. Oh boy. Now it's time for the usual roadblock here, the Four Kings. This boss, or bosses, is always a brick wall in these challenge runs, and for some reason I can never just beat these guys. I mean, all you have to do is roll a bit, tank a lot of hits with Havels, get 2 to 3 hits with the claws after each attack, and hope for the best, and it still never fucking work. Oh hey, first try. Sweet. With that, I leveled my deck some more, then returned to the hardest Lord Soul of this run, Seath. First retry went okay. Managed to find a better strategy, which was to run in and deal a bit of damage before running out. Foolproof plan, really. This fight just kind of frustrated me, so I went and leveled up a bit, as well as figuring out new equipment to use. For this fight, I chose to use the claws and a mixed set of armor, which left me with medium rolls. Even with the medium rolls though, and the low damage, only after 3 minutes, Seath met his end. With that, every Lord Soul has been collected, and now all that's left is Gwyn. And I used a pretty cheesy strategy for him. But, oh boy, that did not make it easier. With that, the run is over, and the runtime was about 10 hours. This was probably the hardest run I've done so far. With all of the short range and low damage, there were a ton of brick walls we hit during this run. And I would like to formally apologize for this video being so late. I recently started up school again, and I just didn't have much time for videos or talking with friends or really anything. So I'm sorry for procrastinating on my videos and leaving you guys without entertainment. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you want to see more of this in the future. I greatly appreciate all of you who watched this far, and liking or even subscribing would mean the world to me. Anyways, with that, I hope you all have a great day or night, and what do you think I should do next?